Okay, everybody, you've probably heard the situation that happened in North Carolina. Say the name Iryna Zarutska. Iryna Zarutska was just riding public transit. By the way, she was a refugee from Ukraine, of all places, and she came to Charlotte, North Carolina. And a terrible person, well, you saw what happened. I can't describe it here on TikTok without some sort of community guideline being violated. But if you haven't seen the video, you absolutely should. This individual should not have been on the streets, 14 prior arrests. And it really makes you wonder, why are we putting up with this? Why are we allowing so many people that have committed these crimes to keep on being released? The magistrate judge continued to release this individual, and this is a horrific thing. You know, it's really interesting. The media was totally covering George Floyd, tens of thousands of articles, reconfigured and changed the entire American body politic. That when it came to Iryna Zarutska, the entire media was quiet, silent. In fact, we forced them to cover the story. Why do you think that is? What was the difference between George Floyd and Iryna Zarutska? Why did the left care so much about George Floyd and they couldn't care less about Iryna Zarutska? What could the difference be? I wonder.
Hey guys, welcome back to another exciting episode of TV. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that notification bell so that you can be updated on the latest videos coming from my channel. Okay, first, we got the guy that you just saw speaking was Charlie Kirk. Breaking news just about a few minutes ago, it hit the internet that Charlie Kirk has been shot. Yes, he was shot. It was almost like sniper style. Now, there's videos circulating around the internet. It's showing the man, it's showing the action. It's showing the moment that it happened. And I cannot play that for you guys here on YouTube. The videos are floating all over X right now. If you go over to X, you can see a lot of the uncut, uncensored videos of Charlie Kirk being shot. And one of the reasons that somebody would probably want to shoot him is because Charlie Kirk speaks the absolute truth. I am a total fan of Charlie Kirk. He's always on point with his viewpoints and the way that he explains things. It comes off very intelligent. He's very intellectual and he's very informative. I learned a lot from Charlie Kirk by just watching him, listening to him, and paying attention to his takes on what's happening. Now, I got a video here. This is all I can show of when and where he got shot. I don't know if you know Charlie Kirk. He does these speaking engagements where he goes to colleges and he sets up a podium and he sits in front of the audience and in front of the crowd and he gives them his thoughts and his views, which are more traditional, more conservative. And man, these liberals do not like that. Somebody stood up and got him. Here's the video. Leave your thoughts down in the comments section. Now, as you can see, it's a very short video. We got people running all over the place. This was right after the shot went off. So it was a sniper style shooting, whoever it was. And you heard one pop. You saw Charlie, he kind of jumped and went over to the side. There was a sniper. Charlie's got shot. Prayers to Charlie and his family. We pray that he makes it through. There's a lot going on the internet. Some people are saying he got shot in the neck. I hope not. The shot looked like it was close to his heart. It's very risky over here at YouTube. I got the video, but I don't really want to play the video. Prayers out to Charlie. Prayers out to Charlie. You know, right now in America, tensions are high. People are up in arms. You got people that want transgenderism. You got people that want homosexuality to flourish. You got people that they want women's rights. You got people they want black rights. You got people that want black women rights. You got people that there's all kind of agendas. There's a lot of times we don't even know which way we're going. You got immigration rights. Illegal immigration rights. Let me correct that. Illegal. You got people fighting for illegal immigration rights. You got people fighting for the federal government to not to step in and help solve the problem of crime in cities where they're overrun with gangs. Gangs run the cities. Gangs and cartels are in politics and they're running the cities. You got city officials getting paid off of crime and the crime that's happening in their area. They're monetizing the crime. And you got people dying. You got people injured. People getting robbed. People getting assaulted. And you got protesters and people that are protesting against the president, his administration, the National Guard, and anybody, ICE, any type of government agency that's gonna protect and that's gonna bring peace and that's gonna stop the crime. You have people are literally protesting against the safety of their city. The world is upside down. It's in shambles. We pray over here at On TV. I pray for my subscribers. I want and I wish the best for all of y'all. Y'all have to stay diligent. You have to pray for the spirit of discernment, and you have to be careful out here when you're on your daily commute to work. You have to pray and you have to be aware. You have to be conscious. Now, I know a lot of men are automatically like that. But you women, y'all have to realize that y'all are the vulnerable out here in society. Y'all have to be very, very conscious of your surroundings. If somebody looks dangerous, you don't need to think in your head, oh, well, he's just going through something and he needs help. No, you need to get away from that person. If they need help, let somebody else help them. Let their family help them. Let the police help them. Jail will help them. It's not a bad place. Jail will help them. They've captured Charlie Kirk's shooter. I got a video of him right here. This is the sniper, the shooter that shot Charlie Kirk today at a speaking engagement at a college campus. I'm waiting on more information to come out, and I can let you know what campus it was that he was speaking at. But prayers for Charlie Kirk. Prayers for his family. Hopefully he pulls through. It's crazy that you can't even have an opinion. You can't voice an opinion if it's against anything that's liberal or anything that's left. These people get violent and they want to end your life. Prayers for Charlie Kirk. That's exactly what happened to him. Just speaking up for what he believes in. Now his life is his life is hanging. His life is only in the hands of God right now. And all he does is speak what he believes to be the truth. And I agree with him. I believe that it's the truth. Prayers for Charlie Kirk. Now, I want to pivot over to the story of the Ukrainian refugee. Her name was Iryna Zarutska. And I hope that I'm saying that right. R.I.P. to that young lady. She got brutally stabbed on the railway in Charlotte, North Carolina, by a black man that was sitting behind her. For no reason, this woman got stabbed. All she did was get up. She worked at a pizzeria. I found that out. And she got off of her shift at the pizzeria and was taking the public transportation train on her way home. She sat in front of a black man. There was at least 5 other black people sitting in the section of the train where she was sitting. The man pulled out a pocket knife and stabbed her repeatedly in the neck and walked off. She fell over into her seat and passed away. This lady died for no reason. Now, as this story goes on, there's more and more and more information coming out. Here's a news story that I found. It's kind of long. I want to share it with you guys, and we're going to go over it and gather this information together. Hit that like button and subscribe to Unk TV. Thanks you guys for tuning in. Let's get into it.
In the shocking, brutal murder of a Ukrainian refugee on the Charlotte, North Carolina mass transit system. Earlier today, authorities announced that the suspect, DeCarlos Brown Jr., is now being charged federally with 1 count of committing an act causing death on a mass transportation system. The Attorney General, Pam Bondi, reacted on X, saying, in part, that the murder is a direct result of, quote, failed soft on crime policies that put criminals before innocent people, before adding that the DOJ will seek the maximum penalty. She'll weigh in on this. Also, the FBI Director Kash Patel weighed in, saying the attacks like this should never, ever happen in America, and noted that the FBI immediately jumped into action to make clear to violent criminals they will not be allowed to walk free any longer. This has to stop. This is madness. When you look at this guy, it's like a turnstile. You know, no bail, defund, dismantle, reimagine the police. It's insane. President Trump also reacting to the horrific murder in a viral video from the Oval Office that the White House posted earlier today. Look at this.
For far too long, Americans have been forced to put up with Democrat-run cities that set loose savage, bloodthirsty criminals to prey on innocent people. Really very, very innocent people. In every place, they control radical left judges, politicians, and activists, and they've adopted a policy of catch and release for thugs and killers. In Charlotte, North Carolina, we saw the results of these policies when a 23-year-old woman who came here from Ukraine met her bloody end on a public train. And here's a picture of it. This is the picture of it. And this is a picture of the woman, a beautiful young girl that never had problems in life.
Now, as you can see, she came over here from Ukraine. That's the beautiful lady right there to your left with the blonde hair. She came and sat down on the train. Now, in Trump's left hand, there's a picture of a black guy. You can see he has dreads, and you can see a red hoodie-style sweatshirt over his head. He's standing up right there. That's when he has the pocket knife in his hand, and he's about to bring his hand down and repeatedly stab this lady in the neck. She's sitting there just looking on her phone, just riding home from her shift, working at a pizzeria. Now, next to her in the orange in Trump's hand is the mugshot of the killer. He took this lady's life for no reason, and after he stabbed this lady in the neck, he got up and walked to the other side of the train, and he repeatedly said, "I got that white girl." He done it repeatedly. He done it consciously, and he done it because she was white. It was racially motivated. There were 5 other black people on the train with him. One of those 5 people was a black woman. He did not attempt to stab, hurt, or harm any of those people. He waited, and when this lady got on the train and she sat in front of him, right there as you can see in that picture, he took his pocket knife out and stabbed her. And when he walked off, he said, "I got that white girl." This is what the people are speaking about when they say black fatigue. This is why White Americans are afraid of black Americans. They're seeing too much violence. They're seeing too much ignorance. They're seeing too much negativity come from our community. Are all black people like that? No. But I do understand why people feel the way they feel when they're around certain people. When I'm around certain people, I feel a certain way too. You have to have the spirit of discernment, and you have to move cautiously and consciously whenever you're out on your daily commutes to and from work, to the grocery store, whatever. You have to be vigilant. You have to pay attention to your surroundings. And if somebody looks a little bit sketchy, you cannot take that chance. If this lady would have been a little bit more cautious to people and the way that they look, it's called stereotyping. Yes, I'm a black man and I'm telling you, stereotype. You see somebody looking a little sketchy, a little dusty, a little shabby. That's not the type of person that you want in your personal space. That's not the type of person you want to turn your back on or let your guard down around. This lady could still be living if she would have been a little more cautious. I'm not saying it's her fault. I'm saying it's a sad situation. And I'm saying that we have to move like that, or else we could lose our life. Prime example. This young girl, Iryna, she had a Black Lives Matter and Justice for George Floyd poster in her personal bedroom. She was not racist. She loved all races and she loved all people. Cool, as you should. But I have to ask the question. I saw a lady ask this question, and it made me think. There's a white lady on another platform. She's going viral, and she has a big following. And she said, if Iryna was racist, would she still have her life? Meaning, if she would have saw that black man and said, I'm not sitting by that black man with the dreads and the hood over his head, I'm going to sit somewhere else, would she still be alive? I think the answer is yes. If she would stereotype, she would still be alive. Sad, but it's true. We have to start moving like we have since.
With a magnificent future in this country. And now she's dead. She was slaughtered by a deranged monster who was roaming free after 14 prior arrests. We cannot allow a depraved criminal element of violent repeat offenders to continue spreading destruction and death throughout our country.
14 prior arrests. Today, federal charges came as new footage of the attack and its aftermath was now made public, showing the 20.
As you can see, this is the video right here. And I know they're not going to show the stabbing part and stuff. And this is the news, so they're not going to show that. And I don't think it's good to show it, because this is tragic. So I'm gonna let this video play. I know they're not gonna show it. This is Fox News, but y'all pay attention. All she did was come and sit down. It wasn't even a minute later. This lady was fighting for her life, and then she lost her life.
3-year-old Ukrainian refugee Iryna minding her own business, just looking at her phone. And now, by the way, a viewer warning, the next video is disturbing because another video now made public.
This is now made public. What he's about to say. This is after they cut the stabbing part out. This is after the stabbing. Look at the young lady. Look at her face. Look at the shock. Look at the confusion. People are outraged right now. You want to know who else is outraged? Who's mostly outraged? White people. They're asking, where's BLM? Where's the outrage? Where is the, they're saying if this was reversed, if this was the other way around, if that was a white man and that was a black woman and he jumped up and stabbed her in the neck for no reason, black people would be crazy in the streets. And I can't say that they're wrong. I think that they're right. Black people would probably be looting, burning down stores, burning down their own communities, because that's how we react to things like this. We've reacted to things like this numerous times in the past. I think it's safe to say that that's what we could expect if the roles were reversed, if the races were reversed. If that was a white man and this was a black woman that lost her life just riding home from her daily shift at work. Now watch as he walks off. You're going to see blood dripping from his hand and everything. That lady did nothing but come and sit in front of him, and he jumped up and took her life.
Shows the victim immediately, this is hard to look at, immediately after she was stabbed, absolutely terrified, and puts her face in her hands, covering her mouth. Moments later, she collapses to the floor. She dies. We also now have new video of the suspect after he repeatedly stabbed the victim, walking through the train, dripping blood all over the floor. And tonight, the big question is, why was this man with schizophrenia, 14 prior arrests, including for violent offenses like robbery with a dangerous weapon and assault on his own sister, why was he free to roam the streets?
14 prior arrests. Catch and release. He was released on each one of them. A mental patient. He had a mental illness, schizophrenia. No help. The system failed, and it's coming back on our people. There's going to be backlash behind this. White people are mad behind this, as they should be. Some of them don't have any understanding, just like you black people don't have any understanding when it comes to race and racism in this country. White people can say, not all of us are racist. And I know a lot of black people won't listen. They think all white people are racist. Now the roles are being reversed. Black people are saying, not all of us are racist. There's white people out there that's not trying to hear that. The war is not only about to kick off in Chicago. There could possibly be a race war right here on American soil. Because of all the gaslighting, all the lies, all the deceit, and the strong focus on racism. Coming from our side, everything is racist. Everybody's racist. Like, y'all love Jasmine Crockett, don't you? Her favorite word is race. Y'all love Al Sharpton. Where are they at? Have you heard them speak about this? Have you saw this story on your local news channels? No, you haven't. They haven't said not one peep about it. Because it doesn't fit their narrative that white people are bad, white people are racist, black people are good. And they want you to hate Trump and believe that Trump is racist. When crime and hatred, it doesn't have a specific color. Every culture, every color, every race has people that commit crimes and that have a heart full of hatred and that are racist.
For the judge who released him with nothing more than a written promise to appear after his last arrest in January to resign are growing after 10 GOP members of the North Carolina House delegation signed a letter demanding her removal. Despite 14 prior arrests, some for violent offenses, a history of severe mental illness, and a lack of a fixed address, they let him go with no bond only 8 short months ago.
They let him go with no bond 8 months ago. And he's been wilding out. His mother came up and spoke, and surprisingly, and I'm glad that she didn't, shout out to the mother. She said that he is not a victim. That she'd been telling him that the man is crazy. She kicked him out because he was crazy. He was threatening her. He assaulted his sister. He's committed aggravated robbery, burglaries, theft, all kind of assaults. His name is DeCarlos Brown. 14 prior arrests. Only to walk free on him and roam the streets again every single time until he kills somebody.
Of course, no bail. What about this guy's record made this judge think that this was a good idea? You know, what gave her that confidence that he wouldn't be a threat? Would the judge be happy if this person had moved in next door to her? This is the idiocy of not just judges, but the entire defund, dismantle, no bail law, reimagine police insanity that the left has now embraced and continues to embrace. This young woman should be alive today. Decisions like this undermine confidence in our judicial system. It exposes entire communities to violent repeat offenders. Now, Charlotte's liberal mayor also rightly facing a backlash for her initial statement on the murder, in which she called for compassion for the alleged murderer, saying that this tragic situation sheds light on the mental illness crisis. Now, while adding that mental health is a disease that needs to be treated with the same compassion as heart disease or cancer. Now, after a major backlash, she did release an updated statement yesterday calling this a tragic failure of the courts and the magistrates. Oh, you think? Did it take the public outcry to get you to that point? At least...
And this is the liberal thought process. This is a liberal judge. This is a Democratic judge. She's with the left. Listen, man. Soft on crime. Let's promote and support and expand transgenderism, LGBTQ, cashless bail. Let's get them help. Just like Mayor Mohawk over Brandon Johnson over in Chicago. The criminals, they just need houses. We need more funding so that we can buy them houses and get them basketball courts and coloring books. This is what happens when you're not tough on crime. This is what happens. People lose their lives, innocent people. The vulnerable in society. That maniac on the train, he didn't try to stab a strong man. There's a higher percentage of a chance of a man getting stabbed and fighting back, getting a knife and stabbing him and taking his life. So he's not going to do it to a man. He's going to the criminals always go after the most vulnerable in society. The women, the children, and the elderly. Y'all better start paying attention.
On this one point, she's finally right. Yeah, the system is failing many Americans spectacularly. In this case, they have failed spectacularly. They failed this innocent young woman with her entire life in front of her. The bigger problem is the left-wing mindset that is fueling all of this and failing all of us. And then to make matters worse, the left-wing media mob, what do you think they did? They jumped all over the opportunity to accuse Republicans of trying to politicize this horrific murder of an innocent girl reading her phone on tape. You know, the hypocrisy from the left is at an all-time high. Take a look. Let's go to fake news CNN. I thought this guy got fired. Humpty Dumpty and Aaron Burnett and what they said. Take a listen.
Most murders in the U.S. never become national news. This one's garnered attention for a couple of reasons. Number one, first and foremost, the recent release of that gruesome video. Second, the energy from pro-Trump activists. They picked up on this video from local news and ran with it. And it's being used, as you said, Brianna, as a political symbol, with MAGA media calling for more forceful punishments and more incarceration. I have to say, some of the replies to Musk, some of the comments around this story are baldly racist, stoking fear of African Americans because this man attacked a white woman.
A horrific new video of a Ukrainian refugee's murder caught on camera. It is absolutely horrific. Trump is now seizing on this to push his nationwide crackdown.
How would they feel if it was their relative, their daughter, their niece, somebody that they cared about in their life? Fake news CNN is just a repulsive cesspool of idiots and, frankly, politically biased fools. Many print headlines, they were just as bad. Take a look at this one from Politico. Quote, Ukrainian refugee killed in North Carolina gets dragged into political messaging war. Or this one from Axios, stabbing video fuels MAGA's crime message. And no list would be complete without the New York Times that said a gruesome murder in North Carolina ignites a firestorm on the right. If you have a heart, conscience, and soul, and you look at that, does it not move you to compassion? Does it not motivate you to want to fix what is going wrong? Whatever happened to the left-wing mantra, lives matter? I guess for them, lives in Chicago, lives in LA, lives in New York City, and now apparently North Carolina don't matter, because they can't weaponize murder to attack Donald Trump, Republicans, conservatives. And during today's White House press briefing, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt called out the left-wing media mob for their coverage, or lack thereof, of this horrific murder. Take a look.
This monster should have been locked up, and Iryna should still be alive. But Democrat politicians, liberal judges, and weak prosecutors would rather virtue signal than lock up criminals and protect their communities. And perhaps most shamefully of all, the majority of the media, many outlets in this room, decided that her murder was not worth reporting on originally because it does not fit a preferred narrative. Many of the journalists in this room spilled plenty of ink trying to smear Daniel Penny for defending a subway car from a deranged lunatic in New York City, but none of those same reporters lift a finger to write stories.
A major update in the shocking...
And Caroline Leavitt, she said it perfectly. As she always does. That's Trump's press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, man. Hey, I want to get back to her so you can see her face. She always brings it correctly every single time, and I agree with her to the fullest. There she is, right there, Miss Leavitt, man. Miss Leavitt, however you say it, Caroline Leavitt, calls out journalists for lack of coverage of Charlotte's stabbing. And I said it before, I said it again. If you pay attention to these traditional news media stations, you will be lost in the sauce every single time. These people, man, they only cover anything that they can find, that they can consider bad, or they can build a case off of to say that Trump is bad and he's wrong and he did it wrong and all of that. So, with that being said, y'all pay attention to where you're getting your news coverage from. These traditional news media stations, they're losing in ratings. They're falling all the way off. You never hear them say that Trump done something good. It's always Trump done something bad. And that's how they lose me every time. I look at them to stay informed. I'm knowledgeable enough to know when they're gaslighting, or whenever they're wrong, whenever they're being biased. But man, y'all be careful of where you get your news from, man. So now I want to switch over to this other lady, and she speaks about the train station murder. And she couldn't have said it better, man. Here's the video.
So let me get this straight. They burned the streets for a criminal, but didn't lift a finger for a white innocent woman. Got it. And the irony of this is that she genuinely supported BLM. She had a poster of George Floyd in her bedroom. She came to America for a better life, to escape a war zone. And her life was ended because we have a broken system here in America. We have DEI judges who are put in position based off of equity, not equality, who are letting criminals, animals, on the streets, putting women, children in danger. This was a racially motivated incident because in the video, he yells, "I got the white woman." The most appalling part of this entire situation is the fact that when she sat there in her last moments, every single person on that bus didn't move a finger. They knew she was terrified and they knew exactly what happened. Only her very last moment, someone checked up on her. The most appalling thing is someone pulled out their phone and was just taking pictures and videos of her. But you know very well that if this situation was switched around, it would be a completely different story. Why? Because I live here in North Carolina and I am just barely hearing about this news, and this happened over 2 weeks ago. This is not an American problem. This is a broken system problem. It's time we start kicking people out of these positions based off of DEI and in the name of inclusivity, and we start putting people in positions based off of qualification and equality. It's time we start kicking these criminals off the street in the name of protecting women and children. Time we stop pretending like sanctuary cities are some safe place when it's putting civilians at risk and in high danger, just creating more and more criminals. Time that we stop fueling movements that are creating racially motivated people that are endangering women and children. This is not an American problem. This is a broken system within America that is fueled by a culture that does not care about you.
And she's exactly right. She couldn't have said it better than that. She broke it down for you guys, man. It's the DEI and all of that. I said it a long time ago when they said that they was kicking it out. I totally agreed with it because I knew where they were going with it and what was happening in the world that other people seem to be so blind to. The judge, DEI, she was never a lawyer over in North Carolina. I can't think of her name right now. I'll get it for you guys later. But she was put in place for DEI, for equity, just to be equal. Though they got this amount of people in there, of other races in there, we got to get some black people in there. And she went in there, soft on crime, heartfelt. Because they're black, we're going to go easy on them. But you can't continue to let these black people out. That black person was schizophrenic. He had a mental issue. He needed to be in the mental prison, a hospital, a mental hospital where they lock you in and they don't let you out. That man needed to be subdued, medicated at all times. And maybe that girl would still have her life. It's just like this lady said. Man, let me tell you something. This is moving into a spot where people of other races are going to be afraid to be around black people. That's just basically what it's going to be. This lady spoke about George Floyd. When the cop put his foot on George Floyd's neck, after George Floyd broke a law, it's known that George Floyd put a gun to a pregnant lady's stomach and threatened to shoot her in the stomach if she didn't give up her money. So he done that in a robbery. And when the police got him and he was being belligerent and resisting arrest, and they put a foot on his neck and he died, there was mayhem. There was chaos in the streets. There was a whole movement. Black Lives Matter. Hands up, don't shoot. And the guy that started Hands Up, Don't Shoot, he just got killed in the neighborhood by black people. Less than a mile from his friend that got killed. I think his last name was Brown. Mike Brown, where Mike Brown got killed. He was a activist in the black community, standing up for the rights of black people and screaming racism. He had a movement called Hands Up, Don't Shoot. He was just shot and killed by his own people in his own neighborhood behind some of the same things that basically he was advocating for. It makes no sense. Us as black people, we have to find a positive, better direction and move in a different direction than what we're moving in. The first thing we have to do is realize that a lot of the things that's happening in our communities, in our cities, in our states, in our households, is not no one else's fault. It's not a white man's fault. It's not systematic racism. It's us. We have to look in the mirror and we have to fix our problems. Nobody's going to fix it for us. And we can't fix it always blaming it on something else. The white man, racism, systematic racism, no housing, poverty, nothing else to do. There's nothing else to do in the neighborhoods for the kids. So that's why they go out and steal, rob, kill. We have to do better as a race. We have to do better as a people. Thank God for Trump, man. Thank you guys for tuning in to UNC TV. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell so that you can get notified on the latest videos coming from our channel. We love you. We're going to pray for you, man. Be safe out there. Be diligent. Be conscious of your surroundings at all times. Prayers for Charlie Kirk. Prayers for Iryna, the Ukrainian lady that got killed, and her family. We out.